So in pourquoi, why, the word for why, we have por, which is for, and quoi, what, for what. For and por are actually the same word. So in the evolution of languages, some words share a root, but that root changes sound in one language and not in the other, or in different ways in the two languages. This is why we have many Fs in English, which are Ps in French. If you look out for this, you will notice many words which don't look at all similar, but are actually the same word which has just undergone a consonant shift. So for example, we have for and pour. Peu, a little, is connected to few in English, especially if you pronounce peu as it's written. I mean, if you were to read P-E-U in English, how would you pronounce that?
Pew.
Pew, just like few. No? So you can really see the connection there. Un peu, few. We have the English F to a French P. So when we have a P in a French word which looks unfamiliar and unconnected to English words we know, we can give this a try and see if we find a related word with an F in English, rather than just trying to memorize the new word. So maybe you look up or ask somebody for the word foot, and they tell you that foot in French is pied, P-I-E-D, pied.
Yeah.
So you could just try to remember that, memorize it, whatever that means. Or you can notice how we have an F in English, foot, which is a P in French. And the D, which isn't pronounced now, P-I-E-D, D and T are two very similar sounds. So we can clearly see how foot and pied, as different as they sound, are actually the same word. To speak. To speak in French is parler, parler.
Parler.
How would you say I speak?
Je parle. Je parle.
Well, you kind of half hear the E here, because it's quite hard to finish on an L. So it's je parle.
Je parle.
So you can fall into the E. It depends the speed you're speaking, what comes afterwards. So you could hear je parle or je parle. He speaks.
Il parle.
Il parle. She speaks.
Elle parle.
Elle parle. You speak.
Tu parles.
Tu parles. Parler is actually related to fable. You know this word in English, no? Fable.
Mm-hmm.
A fable is a told story, an oral story, and then we get parler, to speak. And fairy and also fate are also related to this root that parler comes from. A fairy is a speaky, it's a messenger. And fate literally means something like the spoken thing in Latin. Interestingly, fate in Arabic is the written thing, if you translate the word directly. So we have two very close ideas there. Give me again what was the word for what, or the words for what?
Que. Quoi.
Good. We have que or quoi if we will put the word at the end. And then we have why, built from quoi.
Pourquoi.
Pourquoi. Why are you speaking?
Pourquoi parles-tu?
Pourquoi parles-tu? Pourquoi tu parles? So pourquoi is literally for what, because of what. About what is de quoi. These are two words. Pourquoi is one word, but de quoi, these are two words. So about what is literally of what, de quoi.
De quoi.
So if you want to say, for example, what are you talking about? What are you speaking about? You will say, of what are you speaking?
De quoi parles-tu?
De quoi parles-tu? De quoi tu parles? You could also say, tu parles de quoi? It's quite flexible. And like with pourquoi, we don't have an obligatory inversion when we use de quoi. We can think that the question is contained in that de quoi bit. So we can have de quoi tu parles? De quoi parles-tu? So we said for and pour, no, the same word, just without F to P shift. Father in French is père, père.
Yeah.
Again, our F to P shift, which also exists within English. We have father and then paternal, again from the same root, père. My father.
Mon père.
Very good. Mon père. Our father. You can think of the Hunchback of.
Notre père.
Very good. Notre père. French in French is le français.
Le français.
Le French. So you could say, our father doesn't speak French. You could say it either way. Our father doesn't speak French or our father doesn't speak the French. Both are acceptable.
Notre père ne parlait pas le français.
Very good. Notre père ne parle pas le français. Notre père ne parle pas français. What was again the word for foot?
Pied. Pied.
Pied. Pied. The D on the end, we don't pronounce it now. Pied. To go in French was aller, and to go on foot is aller à pied. Aller à pied.
Aller à pied.
Do you remember how was the house?
Les maisons.
La
Maison.
La maison. I do not want to go to the house on foot. I do not want to go to the house on foot.
Je ne veux pas aller à la maison, à pied.
Very good. Je ne veux pas aller à la maison à pied. Oh, the order is flexible here. We could have je ne veux pas aller à pied à la maison. And also we have an optional liaison here. Pas aller could become pas aller. Now this liaison is optional, and dialect and age and idiolect, the personal individual dialect, will influence what is considered normal. So we could also have je ne veux pas aller à la maison à pied. Very good.